committed and passionate, arriving in his trademark arrival, the Knife Edge Pass. And I think you'll agree that's a pretty impressive Star 20 display, isn't it? A totally committed professional. This now a hugely improved and modified aircraft. You would have seen him in the muscle biplane in the past, but is capable now with little engines, 350 horsepower each, just strapped to just the forward edge, just behind the engine, just in front of where Richard is sitting, adding that extra zip and power. And you'll see this hovering manoeuvre and gyroscopic manoeuvres throughout the course of this air display. Matching anything he has done in the past, an incredibly agile machine. It's wacky, it's wild, it's hard work. Here he is in his usual position, upside down, pushing the aircraft around using the rudders. And the blood pouring into his head, he's straining against it before zipping out in a number of dynamic rolls back into normal and rarely ever stable flight, but nonetheless exciting. So he's got the whole pocket of manoeuvres up his sleeve, Richard, and he's given the opportunity and the flexibility to design the display as suits the conditions, and here we are on a near perfect day for this sort of flying. Right at the top end, and of course, not only does this take hours and hours and hours of practice, but of course, you've got to keep fit for it as well. Right up in the regimes of Formula One drivers, here he is literally hanging on to the residual power there. He was telling me earlier on that as we see the torque effects there, that he's thinking of adjusting the little jet engines, and you'll see them when he gets up close to you. They're just fitted. Similar colours are sort of a little bit camouflaged. You can just see them sticking out just between the wings on this aircraft. This aircraft going back to the mid to late 40s, really, in its development by Curtis Pitts, built pretty much exclusively for competition aerobatics and dominated much of the competition arena right through into the 60s and 70s with some very, very famous teams indeed. But you can just see the speed with which he can put in those flick rolls. Climbing now, here he is, virtually in the hover, and if he holds it much longer, the aircraft will start to, there it is, seized. Well, he's turned it into a pinwheel, turning it on its side as well as letting it hammerhead down at the same time, tumbling through the sky. But a little later on, when we come to his modified version of the Tower of Power, he will no doubt hang on in there and just let the torque of the propeller turn it into a gyroscopic manoeuvre whilst he's maintaining a virtual hover position using that residual power from those additional little jet engines. Many people have made the Pitts their personal steed and made very famous, but there was a lady back in the States who made the most of this. Her name was Betty Skelton, and many of the early Pitts had a little monograph on the side, and hers was the Little Stinker, and that one now hangs upside down in the Smithsonian Aviation Museum at Dulles Airport in Washington, so do take a look when you're passing through. This built from scratch, a modified S2S fuselage. One of the major differences with this, the wing design is unique, massive ailerons and more wing area, giving it the most phenomenal roll rate and better low-speed handling. Looking absolutely magnificent in the bright sunshine today. Here he is, holding up. You hear the distinctive sound of those little jet engines holding out. Here he is now hovering. Let's see how long he can just hang on in there. just drifting slightly down, but the aircraft still firmly under his control. Maybe the tiniest bit of forward movement just to keep a bit of airflow over the wings. Holding it off the gyroscopic for the moment, putting the power back on, recovering easily. So whilst looking like a bit special, indeed it is, it's not like any other aircraft you can buy off the shelf, that's for sure. Richard, unique in his development as an engineer, an ex-tornado pilot himself. His father was a hunt display pilot, so flying is very much in his DNA. But he spends as much time in the engineering workshop with his aircraft as he does practicing to fly these displays. Nice again, hanging in the air, taking all the residual power, a little bit of gyroscopic effect there, just enhancing that now. A most extraordinary position to be in an aeroplane. In a moment he'll just let it drop down, take back control, power heading down, and using all this energy now as he dives down to build up the next manoeuvre. Hates going anywhere in a straight level direction, does Richard. Always fills any remotely short gap with at least a few flick rolls or a tumble or just a bit of inverted flying. They're skidding and rolling at the same time across the sky. The heart of the power being the 6-cylinder 8.5 litre 540 light cooling engine. So all the extras on board, including a massive smoke system. The original gear taken off, strengthened with new titanium sprung gear lugs and a new shape around what is a carbon cowling, reducing the weight and the profile drag of the machine. And also a modified rudder, giving it much better yaw control, which you can see he uses extensively throughout the course. Back up into another hover. There's very much going to be the trademark of this jet's, the jet bit variant of this stable of aircraft. And that really is static, isn't it? That's a hover fly. Quite astonishing. Gyroscopic effect breaking in now, letting it tumble down, losing his airspeed and control, and now the weight and the downward trajectory giving all that energy back again. Really winding it up now. It sounds very strange, doesn't it, having a bit of jet noise as well there. Very unusual to have that associated with this class of aircraft. Climbing so much easier as well. Look at that, a tower of power. Astonishing. He'll just be collecting his thoughts again now, checking the TPs and whatever on the engine, ensuring that everything is ready to convert this height back into a bucket load of energy as he dives the aircraft in towards the sea. As soon as he levels out, he'll almost certainly throw in a couple of extra flick rolls. Smoke is on. Pulling up the G now. He's going into a hesitation roll. Pushing out now, the blood rushing to his head. Now putting in those rolls. Our max speed around about 200 miles an hour, but it stalls. Well, it doesn't really stall at all, as you've now seen, but a normal conventional stall would be around about 50, 55 miles an hour. Tiny little aircraft, you sit really squat right in the heart of this airframe when you're flying it. And again, very fast, nice aircraft. Oh, and that could be a pure jet engine, couldn't it? A pure jet aircraft flying past us there. Really quite spooky. Just got the most phenomenal gliding rate on this, just, I don't know, it's like a mini typhoon, isn't it? Absolutely astonishing performance on this. What a difference from Gee Whiz. I think he's just calling there for his final pass. That was an exhilarating climb up into the sky. Fantastic performance indeed, absolutely amazing.